Very good morning to you, and thank you so much for finding time to be with us this morning. It is the 28th of April 2022. My name is Miriam Ogutu, and the show is Good Morning Africa. I trust that your day has started off well. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in, watching us this morning. So I'll take us to the command center where Dr. Matanga shall be co-hosting the show from. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam, wherever you are. I join you to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on planet Earth. God bless you. This is 28th of April, the year of our Lord, 2022. We are in the headquarters of Africa. Thank you very much. Good morning, Miriam. Back to you.
All right, good morning. Thank you. So let me just take us through quickly the headlines this morning of the leading newspapers in the country. The Standard newspaper, Secrets of Day, Kibaki was sworn in at Dusk as Kenyans prepare to bid farewell to the country's third president. Details of the tense moments that ensued at KICC on December 30th, 2007, which thrashed him back to power as violence erupted, emerged yesterday as his men opened up. The story is on pages 6, 8, 9, and 10 on the Standard. Kalonzo, I'm still the best bet for Azimio. You'll find that on page 10. And banks feel heat of dollar shortage. That is on page 30. Next deadline on registration for national exams is there on page 4. The Star newspaper, without me, Raila will lose to Ruto. Kalonzo. This issue is beginning to weigh heavily on me. I find it almost unacceptable. Discussing it, the story is on page 4 and 5. I am in talks with Team Wanyonyi, says UDA Governor aspirant Sakaja. The story is on page 8. And then the main pictorial, UDA gives nomination certificates as Raila winds up the US tour. And then 10 declared to run for president as independent candidates. The story is on page 7. Our money is clean. Nigerians in 25 billion Kenya shillings probe tells agency. The story is on page 2. The Daily Nation, Raila to share power with Chief Minister, the bigwig dilemma in Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. The story in a new proposal that could either make or break the political and power ambitions of a quarter of brokers in the Azimio coalition. The Chief Minister will be the head of government and will supervise and coordinate government functions. This points to the dilemma that the Odinga camp is grappling with, trying to satisfy competing interests in the selection of the deputy president candidate. You'll find that on page 8 and 9. And then Kenyan boy was brutally killed by stepfather and mother in the UK, court says. The sixth wave of COVID is on the way, warn medical researchers. That is on page 14. Othaya gets a facelift, roads spruced up and towns swept clean ahead of this Saturday's burial of former President Kibaki. The story is on page 4 and 5 on the Daily Nation. So that is what we have on the leading newspapers from the country. Doc, I don't know if you can bring us the other newspapers from across the continent. If not, I have them with me here.
Miriam, I think I have them. And where I'm defeated, I will cross over back to you, okay, and you continue with them. But I think I have them here and clear. The most important thing that is disturbing right now is the situation that all of us in Africa are experiencing. That is, COVID-19 is back. COVID-19 is back. The sixth wave is on the way. And anybody, that's all I want to start by asking Kenyans to be very, very alert, all of us, to start programs of telling people that things could not be the same. And let's not beat about the bush. We have lowered our ground, and this is going to affect us so badly. Around 17th, 18th, 15th, the COVID will be real on the streets, and it will be mined, and this is something that we have lowered the guard ourselves, and hospitals are not, people are busy with campaigns, People are busy eating meat the way they want, the way they crowd, the way they travel. So that is something that we should now, as community television stations, loud and tell people to start working on. Thank you very much. The newspaper's daily news of Zimbabwe says we won't brook unfair prices. That is from General Chiwenga, who is saying, no way, we are not going to allow people to put their prices the way they want in order to cause chaos in Zimbabwe. Newsday in Zimbabwe said the retailers dumped the Zim dollar. They no longer want to hear about the Zim dollar. They want the real dollar of the America. The Daily Telegraph said energy firms face threat from windfall tax. And then we have, I don't know whether you can see the picture medium properly. Is this Prince of Wales or who is this tennis, being Stoker's biggest test? Yeah, this is cricket in London, and he's the captain, I think, or the pitcher. I don't know how they call it. Those are some of Tory MPs accused of watching porn in communist chamber. Wala? Yes. Kama mambo iko mbaya namna hivyo, even in Britain watch Gladwell, good morning, how are you? You can. Good morning, Miriam was coming to greet you after that, but let me greet you. You have heard that British members of parliament watch porn in the chambers. This is serious. Okay. The Guardian of London, again, fear of energy prices crisis as Russia cuts gas supply. I told you, we talked about this some time back, and I said this was coming. It was on the way towards us. Very soon it will be very cold, to the extent that some people will want to talk to Russia quickly. That the papers in Britain, the papers in Nigeria say power sector. The Guardian, I think still in Nigeria, yes, FG sinks more funds despite low performance. I don't know what that one means. Federal government, yes. FG means federal government of Nigeria. The Nation says 2023 battle for the tickets pits governors against senators. This thing, syndrome of governors against senators, Miriam, it looks like it is across the entire Africa. Senators want to go to become governors, and the governors want to become senators. So who oversees the other? So the Citizen of Tanzania says experts how to soften impact on Ukrainian war. Yes, we are not thinking about it here, and we are busy at the moment only talking about. In fact, one of our biggest talk points is the election. Kila pale unapata mtu election. But we are not thinking about the impact that is now coming. There's an impact coming, medium, which we should be very careful about. And that impact is the fuel crisis, the energy crisis. Very soon, all of us are going to come to a standstill. If we are not careful, there will be no fuel, there will be the prices will be terrible. Things are working in the opposite direction. Some countries are thinking aloud already, but some of them are not yet. Some countries in Africa have not started planning. We are waiting until this fuel crisis hits us, then we start thinking. So Tanzania is already on it. And Tanzania says it has no way out, but it has got to plan for this. And then, well, it comes, that's the Citizen of Tanzania. Then we have the Daily News of Tanzania, Tanzania to produce 60,000 megawatts of power, electricity. I think here it is, okay, we are moving, this is very good. Prime Minister insists on strict projects monitoring. The royal tour, Marvel's grip, Arusha. This is very serious, and you Miriam, you know, the biggest problem with Africa at the moment is we don't want to see ahead. We are only seeing here, and yet, Gladwell and Miriam, we have animals that see ahead. Have you not seen that Kenya has more gloves when you are driving to and the glove sees the danger ahead. We don't see the danger. Look, Miriam, what annoys me here is Nigerians come here, spoil this country, and say the money is ours. And then we go later on. When did we raise the red flag? If it was for the diaspora, why didn't you take it to where the diaspora is? Why do you bring it here from Dubai? You bring it here. Allah, we shall see that later. But Miriam, I am equally. There are certain points I usually see certain things when you reach certain points, you also become very agitated because these are points you have been talking about on the same platform. And it looks we keep on repeating the same mistakes. The same mistakes. We don't tackle the issues. We firefight. Look at this. We are now firefighting money launderers. Instead of them firefighting us, we are fighting them. We are having excuse. And we have only managed to grab 5 billion. The man has, for 4 years, 2 full years, he has been poisoning people in the region with this money, which has come from outside. You know, Miriam, how are mercenaries paid? This guy could have bought mercenaries. Did you know that? $20 billion, you buy mercenaries. $2 million, $222 million. Don't you buy a mercenary? They will come here and kill all of us. And even take people, not all of us, but take a government. These are some of the things that we have to be very careful. In Africa, let's be careful of every information that trickles in. Now Nigerians are even telling us that is their money. They are even, do you know what? Miriam, do you know what has made me so much very disturbed? Can you ask me why? Ask me.
Go ahead.
Yes. That the guy those who have stolen seem to have more powers than the people who arrested them. Did you know that? Have you noticed that?
Yeah. According to the story, Doc, we were looking at yesterday, the same story you're talking about, it is said they have a connection to a very senior politician in this country.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, ma'am. Hold the fire there. We are coming to the topic on the top of the hour. But let me finish with my news. This is very, you know, the people who have even committed a crime on the soil of the Republic of Kenya are more powerful than the people agency which is taking them to court. Did you know that? And somebody is sitting here opening his white teeth to everybody that he's going to become a president of the Republic of Kenya. That's the day when some of us will leave. Nakwambia haki. Akuwe na Kenya yake. Tumupiganishe kutoka nje. Well, this state will go down. This state will go down. Time has come for people to talk the truth. Projects, money for projects was sunk into corruption. And the guy who sunk it came and even made the president's name look funny. You talk about the legacy, somebody wants to pour beer on you. He said, wewe mtu ya Uhuru. Now for me, I can't even go and have a meal outside. Miriam, I'm telling you. The other day I was having a meal in this thing called Ati Cafe. Is it Ati Cafe in Mombasa? Somebody came and sat down and said, why do you support Uhuru so much? Why? He has done this, he has done this, he has done this. I listened, I looked at him. So my anger was, should I just get this guy, grab him? Because I am a commando. You don't come and stand near me and talk that way. Shit. You don't talk shit on me. I take you down. I wanted to take him down in the restaurant. But I said no. Because I saw the position where I was going to hit him and he goes. Did you know that? So I said, okay. So am I Uhuru? I asked him, am I Uhuru Kenyatta? Why don't you address your problem to Uhuru Kenyatta? I said, oh, but Mzee, well, you're a very good man. You used to be a very good man advocating for Kenya, but now you, Uhuru Kenyatta, this is a restaurant I've gone to eat. I've gone to eat with my guests, and you are throwing your saliva on me. That's where, anger. But as a man, I controlled my anger. I said, okay, boss, is there anything wrong? I asked him a question, Miriam, did you go to school? He said, oh, yeah, I went to school. So which school did you go to? Oh, I was in Maseno University. Then it is the poorest university on universe. Go and recall your university lecturer to be the one talking to me. Have you got the meaning? Can I repeat? You went to Maseno University. Then you came out with nothing. Maybe you are in the campus compound and cleaning windows, but you did not study. Today you are here, you say you are doing biashara, you do business. Then ask him, what business do you do? Oh, I clear cars around the port. He said, if you are my son, I will not allow you to come near me. Clearing the cars is not a business. Clearing cars is like you were taught. Ilimuuma sana. You know, you don't fight now with fists. I fought with tools of analysis. I saw him, even the girl who was with him laughed. You know, the lady was with me. He was posing around at me. Now today I'm talking to this Urus. That is what he called me. This is Uru's man. You know, yet the money. And he was very, very arrogant, praising the deputy president, tutamupatia kura. Ninasema haya, nyenye wa Kenya, mimi si Mkenya. Lakini mimi nafanya kazi zangu. The legacy is me. I am writing my books about the legacy of Uhuru Kenyatta. And therefore, you will not stop any Muzungu coming here to write the books. So, Miriam, those are some of the things that can annoy you. You can even get out of a taxi when you are going to Kisumu or Kericho and say, let me pick another one, because you don't want to hear these things. We have been talking about them time and time and time and every day, but people don't take them from us. You see, they don't take it from us. This money issue laundering was around for a long time. And the people, every street you could go say, pesa mingi. It is the point of Tanzanian newspaper. It is prepared. You see, the president of Tanzania has not wasted even a time coming here again. That he is going for meeting. He's prepared. Everybody is preparing. But here in Kenya, we are preparing elections, which are shambolic. Have you noticed that kila kitu nashika iko shambolic? Shambolic. Kalonzo is here threatening us. You know, we are not sure. And in that confusion, a thief will jump and win the seat. So everything is shambolic because people want to listen to themselves, but not to others. So when it comes to the type of news I have, that is from Tanzania. Tanzania, no, Miriam, I have them, but I'm just opening my phone. It looks like it jumps, like myself, Samia. And then the daily paper, this is a very dangerous paper from Uganda. Hey. There is something that has happened in Uganda this morning or last night, that key files in the Chief Justice's office, Ndolo's office, were crushed by fire. Okay. Then Patriarch in final lap. Succession debate in Kampala Ranger Zone. Ugandans beg first son to join politics. Say Muhoozi revolution is unstoppable, now or never. Miriam, you hear that? That's the ready paper of Uganda. And as you know, as usual, I know what I've told you. You handle it. You handle it and talk about it. I don't talk about it. There will be a time when I'll talk, but not now. The UPDF to guard projects in Mozambique. President of Mozambique, Nyusi, is in Mozambique and in Uganda for a state visit, official state visit, where he has requested the Ugandan government, the UPDF, and Museveni has promised to send. You know, for us on the question of security, I have no problem with President Museveni on it. I have no problem. You know my stand on that. I agree with him that where there's security coming, but don't cause insecurity for others. That is where we can disagree. But not on stopping conflicts on African continent. Wherever it is in Africa, let him send the troops. That is okay. That's okay for me. But don't cause conflict for others. That's the problem. There we go different. But on this one, I support it. The terrorists in Mozambique were creating a menace. And I want to support Kagame for having sent his troops, 2,000 troops. They finished, they cleaned the whole place. But I don't want to say, to use that word, cleaned, because I know how the Rwandese fight. Most of them are younger men who grew up when we are already ahead of them in the army with Kagame and so on. Kagame and the others and Museveni were in Fronasa. Some of us were in Chikosi Maru, 208 KJ, different people. But their format of fight is different. The format of fight is different. And I know when they said they cleaned Mozambique, when they cleaned, Miriam, do you hear those rebels again? I think the Rwandese are very good fighters. The rebels in Mozambique not even a single one can wake up. They were all taken to Indian Ocean. And the flood ended up in Durban. So these are some of the good things. Some of the good things. I don't know whether Gladwell is saying, what is this? What is doctor talking about? But you understand, Miriam, what I am talking about. Rwandese are real fighters. Those men in Rwanda, they know how they fight. And I'm not shocked when you hear, have you ever seen anything backfire where Rwandese go? Darfur. It is clear. So the William take over the show. Thank you very much, Brother William. Rwandese are very good fighters. My sister, they went to Mozambique. There is not even a single dog left in Cape Delgado. Did you know that? The natives are being told to return. So they you know, the Cape Delgado is near Nachingwea, Ruvuma, the northern part of Uganda, where we, the Fronasa, the Kikosi Maroons, trained from. And if you know the map of Tanzania, which is northern part of Mozambique. So President Nyusi has invited President Museveni to come and do farming there. And Museveni is sending battalions for farming purposes to grow more food for Africa. So here we are. You know there is something very good from anything very bad. Also at times, this is a good strategy. The terrorists wanted to bring us some chaos in area which produces hot gas, hot springs, oil, and everything. Now, the Ugandans were going to move in very nicely and take over the oil ridges. I have told you to be the one speaking on these things. Miriam, please leave me out of it. But you gave me the task of reading the papers this morning. But the analysis at the end of the day, His Excellency President Museveni has said, if there is need for soldiers to come to Mozambique, we shall authorize. Now we have reassembled Congo. That one, Mr. President, and your people, your these small boys that you send around to listen to what Matanga says, I want to tell you, I agree with you. Don't send them, just listen to me. I agree with you on Congo. Rearrange it, roads, hospitals, infrastructure, schools. Let the people in Congo, in Eastern Congo, go to school. Yes, yes. Let the pygmies leave the pygmies can leave the trees and come down, go to school. Yes, Miriam. Is there any good comment that has come? I've not seen. But if there is a comment, don't worry. I'll read it and I'll respond accordingly. But the truth here is this. Surely, the truth here is this. A rearrangement of Congo gives the impetus for East African community to have a population access to a population of 300 million people. We are able to manufacture if we can have stability, democratic stability. This region in 10 years to come will be exporting and having surplus. That's what I believe will happen. So that is my vast analysis. And as you know, Miriam, there is no better. So President Nyusi is in Uganda. Today is inspecting some so many other projects which can be duplicated in Mozambique, which has got a huge unused land in the Beira Triangle and the Beira Basin, where Atlantic meets Indian Ocean. You remember the River Zambezi crosses all the way, carries water all the way from Atlantic Ocean. It is the mixing point of Africa. The mixing point of Africa is that one. From Atlantic to Indian Ocean. What a great, what God. God is very great. So there we are. And the other newspaper in Uganda is, the other paper in Uganda is the Uganda. We have got one paper, the monitor is not on today. So the Sowetan This is South Africa. City of Johannesburg cleans up its act. I don't know what they mean by cleaning up. South Africa has become a country, a medium, which kills other Africans. So for me, any word from South Africa is very sour in my mouth. So I'm sorry, I cannot even discuss anything that touches South Africa because South Africa now kills people. It's a state where people are murdered, blacks are being killed. Eh? Blacks are being killed, maimed, beaten up. It is not very good. You can't kill a fellow African who has come just to stay in South Africa, maybe for business. Just encourage him, a fellow African, whether not even a fellow African alone, but anybody, any human being. So far, Miriam, those are my papers. And then I can see the breaking news that has come in. That President Tshisekedi of Congo, President Kenyatta urges armed groups in DRC Congo to nurture peace. The president was addressing, I think, the groups that have been having peace talks here quietly. There is one thing that, Your Excellency, that I want to thank you for, is the value for peace. Is you want peace all the time to occur in all parts of Africa. That is very good. And but there is one thing also that I want to caution, that some of these rebel groups don't say who arms them. They don't say. You know, information, intelligence is available from international agencies and others. There are people who arm. So next time, what we should do, as African heads of state should do, is actually to look for those who arm them. What do you think? I leave that discussion for Miriam and other people. So the topic is there, presidential unit, PC, we have just lifted this from PSCU, President's Communication Unit, which is headed by Madame Kanze Dena Maran. Thank you very much. And that is another report is, those are the news that I have got from Africa. Thank you very much, Miriam. And I'm sorry for having laughed, because the laughter just came in the middle of it.
All right. Well,
back to you, to the studio.
Okay, thank you. At this point, perhaps I introduce Gladwell, who was also patiently waiting on the other side. Gladwell Kirago, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us.
A very good morning to you, Miriam. A very good morning to you, Doc. Good morning, good afternoon to our viewers, depending on where you're watching us from.
Okay, so of course the debate on the deputy presidentship and the upcoming elections is still raging, and Kalonzo is not feeling too well about being asked to submit his name to that council that was formed in the Azimio La Umoja party that will be able to settle on one candidate as the presidential candidate in the Azimio. And the story is on page 10 on the Standard newspaper. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has maintained that he is the obvious choice for running mate in Azimio. Mr. Musyoka said he should not be subjected to the embarrassing process of applying to be ODM leader Raila Odinga's partner in the presidential race. He said that in the past two presidential elections, he and Mr. Odinga had been politically potent but had been rigged out. If we were to tell each other the truth, and everyone in our team knows that's the right thing to do. I do not understand why anyone would ask me to apply for the position of a running mate. Did Raila apply to be the flag bearer? Post Kalonzo during an interview on KTN News yesterday. Your thoughts, Gladwell?
Miriam, to be honest, the only role that Kalonzo can play being a running mate is just the votes. Otherwise, when we actually classify him and having the leadership skills, he kind of fails. Again, why is he pushing so much to be the?
He fails in what regard? Are you basing this judging on the number of years he served as the Mwingi Member of Parliament, or how are we judging his failure as a leader?
I'm actually judging him on. I'm not the only one, by the way, with the way he makes things. His stance, he never straight. Today, Miriam, he just said this. The next day, after little manipulation, he's just at the opposite side. So he never straight with what actually he wants. And again, Miriam, for example, he's denied the deputy president or the running mate of Raila Odinga. Trust you me, he will just jump to the UDA side because that is what he wants. And it won't be a shock to us because exactly that is what he wants. And what Kalonzo is actually portraying is greed in leadership. Because if you wish well for the country, a running mate shouldn't actually be an issue. Our issue currently and what we're focusing on is who will be the president. That is what carries the day. Who will be the president? I mean, what you're trying to do is actually push Raila to be the next president. So the deputy president, yes, he or she will matter, yes, but at the same time, can he stop pushing it so much? And he said that Raila didn't apply to be a running mate, to be a president contender. The same way he can also apply to be a president aspirant if he wants to. Nobody has actually said that no, you can't. So the choice is also his, and the same thing you can't force the people to have him as the deputy president. There's a poll that has always been conducted here and there between him and Mother Karua, and Mother always wins. So let the people choose. Let whomever be the running mate, let him be or let her be. What matters is who will be the president. The rest don't matter to us.
Okay. Dr. Kalonzo is feeling that he should not be asked to apply for this position. He's terming this very embarrassing, and he's saying, could you judge on how we have worked together? I have supported Raila, and I posed as his deputy a couple of times before, and how that merger worked. So why would I be asked to apply for this position? He's saying he does not even understand why, and it is embarrassing. Is Kalonzo right in this regard, or is he acting a bit, like he deserves this position? Does he deserve this position, or should he apply for it? Or is he entitled? I think that was the word I was looking for.
Media, you want my opinion? You want my opinion?
Yeah.
Miriam, you know the problem we have in Africa is the same problem I've told you. We are wasting time against a man who has been campaigning for 4 years, laying a foundation. And this is where we are going to cry tears. I want to tell you the truth. Any political scientist would look for probative value. And perhaps, look here, look here, Fred, from this point, take it, probative value, political probative value. Forget about your commissions, your panel. What are you choosing in a panel? You are creating more confusion. Raila Ambiwe, and let His Excellency, Right Honorable Prime Minister, listen to us, or else some of us, either we keep quiet, we support Uhuru Kenyatta, and we go ahead up to the end. We shall lose this election if we are not careful. Yes, tuambiane ukweli. The people surrounding again, you see, when you have people surrounding who are seen dangerous, they are dangerous. What is the political probative value of each candidate? isn't it, Miriam? We started, some of us, we are not so good. Professor Makau can be a professor, but he's not very good in political science. He's very good as law. He might not beat Makanga in an exam in political science. So tuambiane ukweli jamani. This thing of playing today, playing this, playing that. This man Ruto has campaigned for 4 years. And I want this message to go out, and I hope you are getting it. We are playing, we are wasting time. In boardroom rankles, 12 days gone, you have not done a groundwork into the mountains where you are talking of getting votes. You are busy crowding in hotels and taking more money with this commission of appointing secretary. Apana! 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 Your Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, listen to me, please. We are doing it wrongly. Please. We are doing it wrongly. Let's be very sincere. Kalonzo has a point on this one here. Yes. I know some people don't want others to talk about this thing. Kalonzo, as much as there are people in Kalonzo's camp who are Trojan horse, there are Trojan horse. Let's look at all sides. There's a Trojan horse in Kalonzo's camp that is working against Kalonzo being in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya. I know them, and for me, I've been open and I've named the names. What some people were fearing, me I've named. Senator Enoch Wambua has never voted for any Jubilee ticket that passed in Parliament. I hope Fred is tapping all this. Senator Wambua has been shooting down all Uhuru Kenyatta's bills. He doesn't like us. We know that very well. But now let's go above them and look at political probative value. Where is the political probative value? 3 governors in Ukambani are already in Azimio. Okay? Mutua, Kivuta Kiwana, Charity Ngilu. Let Raila begin by solving the problem of Charity Ngilu, Kibwana, and Mutua, plus Kalonzo. Unite these people. Then put the facts on table. Put the facts on table. What are the facts? Probative value. The vote in Ukambani and the vote in the mountain. Where is the value? Where is the highest value here? Ukambani alone has 2.5 million voters across the country. That is, if everybody in Ukambani wakes up to vote, including the diaspora Ukambani, they will bring you 3 million votes. About their of 2.9. Remove some that Ruto will take. You will bank about 2.2 million votes. Add them to your vote. Then move to where Kiragu is. Where uncertainty reigns. Let's be honest. And Kiragu is not being sincere here also. You are not going to come and not be sincere on this television. Be sincere and say, yes, you want the woman to lead. You want the woman to be there. Everybody is gone. All women have gone on the social media. If you put the name of Martha Karua versus any man, Martha Karua will shine. That is true. That's another, even if you do which scientific poll like the one I do, I can't even tell you results. It is shocking. Okay. But let's look at the difficulties of the mountain. How deep, how poisonous Ruto poisoned the mountain. How deep is that poison? Today I'm teaching, and I hope this clip will be reaching these guys. How many votes can we get? And two, look at the patterns of voting. The voter apathy syndrome that could affect even Kiragu not to come out. She said it is raining heavily, I'm not coming. And she can ask, hey, when was the voting? Yesterday. Okay, finished. Why? There is nobody from the mountain who is on the front runner. Kiragu, am I wrong? You say when people are singing, because some are not hearing.
No, you're not wrong.
Am I wrong on that one, Miriam? Some people, because there is nobody who is from the mountain who is available on the front line seat. The other time people came out to vote for Uhuru Kenyatta because they say, oh, hey, our man is now being tested for the second time. I did a campaign around this country, and I want to speak the truth. Please, I'm not speaking against Raila or anybody or whatever plans the Azimio are making, but I'm telling you the truth. If we don't use this, what we call political probative value, we might come back. Some of us who have been warned and are told that as soon as Ruto ascends to power, we shall be killed. I've been told that, you know that, did you see that? You were countering some of them on social media that I will be put on firing squad. So Ruto is coming with firing squad. Fine. But I must help at this moment to make sure that we go through. This man has been campaigning for 4 years. For us, instead of going down, we are addressing press conference from press conference from press conference. Macau style, Macau Mutua style. I hate it. Are you hearing me, Miriam? I hate it. And I'm sorry, Raila can like Macau Mutua, but me, not me, myself. So his style is not very good. And I would, as long as he's there, I'll do my things. I'll support Raila in my own way. But I hate Macau Mutua's way of doing things. I think we are going to sink if we are not careful. Raila's supporters, listen to me. We are going to sink. I hate this statement of it was like that, we move on. But that statement, the stakes are high here now, Kirab. Uhuru Kenyatta's stakes are high here. They are very high. There are certain people who can do NGO work, but they cannot do political work. Macau Mutua can do NGO work and write essays and essays, but he cannot do politics. So if you are giving Macau Mutua to be speaking for us and confusing at the same time, he's a lawyer writing these documents, you are causing a very big trouble that we don't want to erupt in this scenario. So for me, I am just asking. Kalonzo has been a friend of Raila Odinga. He has stood by Raila Odinga. Has Kalonzo got probative value? If his votes don't count much, if we can grab the votes from Kibwana, Ngiru, and then Machakos, Kalonzo can be told You are coming. If you are not coming, thank you. Because even where he's going, I don't think Kalonzo is going to be the deputy president. Because the other place is also full. And probably, perhaps, Kalonzo now wants to tell us he wants to stand himself and count his own votes. Isn't it? Most likely, because there is still time for the independents. And the Miriam, I was telling you here that the independents are going to be more. You have seen the report from the Register of Political Parties that he has drafted. There will be more independent MPs in parliament this time who will defeat these guys you are putting there. Because the systems are not working properly. So unless you are telling me Kalonzo will stand as an independent or as wiper, if this thing doesn't go through, I see Kalonzo declaring himself, voting out, and putting a candidature of his own. But I don't see Kalonzo going to Ruto to beg for a space. No, that one, it can't. His people can go, but not Kalonzo. He's very principled to go that way. So he will listen to God. Martha Karua is a very good person. She's a woman, and as I've told you, every time you put an opinion poll on Facebook, Kiragu mobilizes so many Kiragu mobilizes so many ladies. Within about 30 minutes, Miriam, the thing is like, you said it is Martha. You just have to close your Facebook. So they have mobilized themselves. So whichever way the situation is, she's also a good candidate. And coupled with Uhuru Kenyatta's vision. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta is throwing. He also has people in the mountain who love him. You might think they don't love him. There are people there, which I'm saying, the only factor to use to sort this mess is political probative value. We have the numbers in the mountain that will be swung, that will swing towards Uhuru. Once Uhuru goes on the ground, will these numbers swing? Yes. Yeah. Yes. They will swing. So now, in that case, there was no need of Raila going too far. Raila should now come back today as he's arriving at 2 a.m., at 2 p.m. Let him call Mr. Kalonzo, him and Kalonzo alone. This committee is wasting money and time for campaign. They are eating more money. That committee is not sitting empty. You can't sit in the committee from morning up to. Are they doing voluntary? They are taking money in the pockets. You will find that this committee, in the 12 days, it has spent 100 million. Yes, because all these people are brokers. Brokerage. There's a lot of brokerage in the system. Oh, we sat, we need this, we need another 5 million, we need 10 million. That's it, they are doing it. The party will lose another 50 million, sitting down to select a person. Let me, I'm giving advice, because I don't want to even talk to Makamtua for what. He's a junior fellow to me. Can be a professor, but very junior. There are certain people that I can talk to Mataka. I'm telling you, roho yangu iko mzuri sana tena gumu. Let Raila Odinga catch Kalonzo's hand. They go and sit down, medium somewhere, and Raila explains To Kalonzo, Kalonzo is not a man who is going to be very hard and refuse. Explain the benefits. We are in this government. We are going to have this. The other time I published the way the UDA were going to share the government, Miriam. You not see that it is the truth. Nobody came and said it's a fake paper. Have you seen that? You got that paper, I sent it to you in the office through Stephen. That paper of power sharing of UDA. They have finished that problem. Wakina Mudavadi are sitting pretty, they know what they are going to get. For us on this side, we are still selecting committees. For me, Jesus is 11 o'clock. Let God help me. Kiragu can say something now. As I drink my Mombasa tea. Kiragu Gladwell, say something. You are the one who has fixed me. Every time I put this opinion poll, Miriam, it runs into hundreds. And they write only mass, even draw the picture. So, look, I am now, I've kept quiet. Let Kiragu say something.
Jack, okay, as I've said, mother is just loved because of us. I mean, her principles, that is it. That's one. And most of the reason as to why people want mother, most of ladies, is because she's also a woman, and we think that she understands she understands situation better, having a woman. But at the same time, I've also said that us doing away with Kalonzo, it won't help. It will just do us a mess, because Kalonzo got more votes more than mother. Kalonzo will give us the votes more than mother.
Mm-hmm.
More than mother. Yeah, so again, Jack, as you said, I also have an issue with the way Azimio and Jubilee, most of the Azimio are doing their things. I think the strategy Raila is using is a little bit low, and he needs to strategize it better. And as Doc has said, if we hesitate, we might lose the election, because as you can see, it's like there's also an ashiki wave that is happening in Azimio that will bring us terribly down if Raila doesn't up his game up. Because as Doc has said, the DP started his campaign very much earlier, more than Raila. And at the same time, there was a poll that was conducted, I think, yesterday. And Ruto was a little bit ahead of Raila. And again, I want to say, with the Raila, he also needs to be very cautious with the running mate he will choose. Because you can't just choose somebody because that is the people's voice. You need to look at what he or she is bringing on the table, more so the votes. And I endorse Kalonzo because of what he'll bring. But at the same time, to Kalonzo, can he be principled? Can he always have his stand always? Because the watermelon thing hasn't happened, so as stress of rice. And again, with Kalonzo, the reason I also endorse him, he has stood with Raila for so long. I was once a vice president, and so they have walked the journey together. They understand. With him being told to apply for the running mate, I don't think that's a big. You just apply if it's the people's choice. If he's the chosen one, he'll just have the position. I don't think that's an issue, him applying. But at the same time, I wish the Raila can be considerate and get Kalonzo because of the votes.
Mm-hmm. And just to peg on what you've just said and what Doc said earlier, that he should. I was just having the same feeling. Perhaps he should just go ahead and apply, just like everybody else is applying. But this is what he said: the issue is beginning to weigh heavily on me. I find it almost unacceptable discussing it. If this issue is solved earlier, it will give us some of us the impotence to campaign. He said, because right now it is the kind of thing, the push and pull of a deputy, that makes me want to go home, to be honest. You all know my history. Should I really be struggling about this? And the reason perhaps why Kalonzo feels very strongly about this is because he said for him to have agreed to join Azimio, they had another agreement, which he said is secret. I don't know why he keeps having secret agreements, even I don't know if he'd learned anything from the past, because there was an agreement that we all know after he joined Azimio, but also there's another secret agreement that they had that automatically gave him that position. So now he's wondering, why are they turning against that? Of course, the details of the secret agreement has not been made public, but I think that is where his sort of entitlement is coming from. That is something that he was enticed with for him to join Azimio. That was the bargaining chip.
And then, Miriam, with him applying, okay, the reason that the issue with these politicians, the secrets they have, and that is what messes them up. For instance, if Kalonzo is not given the running mate or not chosen, don't be shocked that he will spill the beans off the table. No, that is the issue we're having. Again, with him applying, it will, okay, let him apply. If he's considered, then maybe he's the one, because you just can't say, I appoint mother. It won't be fair. I just can't say they just can't say I appoint Peter Kennedy. It won't be fair. Let him apply too. Maybe that is the strategy Azimio is using, so that they won't say I be favored. It will just end up to be favorism if they just pick somebody random. It will be favorism because actually mother is not also the same. Mother is not a sugar in everybody's life. There's so many people who hate Mother Karua. There's so many people who love Kalonzo. So let him just apply for the sake of it was a fair thing.
Also, I think I could agree with what you're saying. It could just be a formality. I've been feeling like that. Maybe it's just a formality because they have to accommodate all these other parties that are already in Azimio, and it must be made to look as if they're being fair. So it could be just a formality. At the end of the day, I sort of believe they might just settle on Kalonzo. So maybe he should just take a humble pie, go apply for this job, sit there, go through the interview, just for the formality's sake. And also, Doc, I don't know why Kalonzo is coming out and talking about this matter while it was agreed that these are issues that should not be talked about in the Azimio Council, because the Azimio Council will be handling this matter moving forward. So I don't know why he keeps finding it. Of course, it is a question he was asked, but he had a choice not to comment on that because those are issues that are being worked on now in the Azimio Council. That was agreed the last time this was becoming an issue. Why is he still finding a need to discuss this matter in public?
Miriam, this is where I am saying I'm equally very disturbed. And I think, let me wait for Raila to come. There are people, friends of mine, who we talk to him. I think I'll say my mind. I'm sorry, today. Later on, it will reach him. Things will change. We are wasting a lot of time, to be very honest. We are wasting time on these meetings, on board meetings, on selection committees. This guy has been campaigning for 4 years. And we are assuming we shall run a campaign from May. 2 months left. 2 months. And Raila is still creating committees. If Kalonzo does not want to come, let Kalonzo also. Kalonzo, I've explained to you both sides. The most important thing on this in political science is political probative value. Switch off. Let's start another topic, Miriam.
And as we do, Doc, did you hear Tim Wanyonyi is in talks with Sakaja? I don't know what they're talking about. Did you hear? Tim Wanyonyi is in talks with Sakaja.
No. I've just talked to Tim Wanyonyi before coming to the show. He is the MP. He's going to stand as the MP for Westlands. He has told me himself. And Dr. Kisia, I've talked to Dr. Kisia and Wanyonyi a few minutes ago. So all this is propaganda by UDA. Tim Wanyonyi is in Orange Democratic Party, stays there. He is going to stand as an MP for Westlands.
But even if you were to go with the same story Sakaja is saying here, like what position? Because as far as we know, UDA already has its team settled, especially in the capital. So what talks could they possibly, have with Wanyonyi that, and what are they likely to give him at this point? Because they're all Omejipanga, especially as far as Nairobi is concerned. So I was just wondering.
This was given.
Yeah.
This was Miriam. This was given because people started arranging themselves on how they should stand. Because the Nairobi deputy is given already. Why would you give the vote? Why would Tim Wanyonyi give free votes to Sakaja? Why not stay in your party and win the seat and come to parliament? Tomorrow you never know what would happen when you are liked by the people. And when the party is saying it will campaign for you. You get the point? So that is it.
All right, and that is it indeed. And that is where we end our first show. Don't go too far. We shall be back with our next show, and we shall be looking at, let me just bring us that topic and remind us what we shall be talking about in a very, very short bit. And we shall be looking at the laundered money trail. The story that we started talking about yesterday. We will continue with that conversation, so don't go too far.